Welcome, I'm Cassandra, and this is your general forecast for September 2018. This is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. So, I'd like to go ahead and take just a moment. For those of you who do watch my readings every month, I'd like to apologize. You'll notice that I did not post last month. I ended up getting ill towards the end of July, and the first day I actually started to feel well was August the 12th. And then I just kind of figured, well, it's a little late to start now. So I just figured I'd take the rest of the month to gain all my energy back and fully heal up. So here I am, I'm back, and without further ado, it's enough about me. This is about you. Let's jump in. Okay, for the first card, this is Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, and Capricorn Risings. So we have the Page of Wands. So it's definitely looking like you guys are focused on receiving some messages or news. This would be good news. So perhaps some of you have recently received some good news. This could be news about work. This could be this could be news about schooling even. It could also, be about promotions, new job opportunities, financial opportunities. But no matter what, it's definitely good news. So we're starting off well here. This is good. So we could definitely say the Caps are definitely focused on their money. Who would have ever imagined? Okay, so this would be the circumstances. So yeah, it's gonna get a little rough, Cap. I'm sorry. So, Two of Coins in reverse. This definitely indicates that we have spread ourselves too thin. We have too many irons in the fire. Now, a lot of times with this card, sometimes this can indicate that we've actually received some sort of bad news. In regards to our finances, this can indicate a financial loss. It doesn't always have to be. Sometimes this can be like, we've saved, a large amount of money, and then perhaps maybe some of you could have went out and made a large purchase, so then this could be making your savings account look depleted. So, that's only going to resonate with literally a handful of you, but for the rest of you, this is definitely indicating that, we're not in balance, especially in regards to financial matters. So we've been knocked out of balance. We're not able to juggle things smoothly. We're not able to do that whole multitasking thing. And we have got to find some balance. But ultimately, we have spread ourselves too thin. There's too many irons in the fire. So we definitely need to try to narrow those irons down because we can't keep spreading ourselves too thin, because when we do that, then we just can't give our best at every single thing that we're trying to juggle here. Sometimes this is about us having to juggle, maybe multiple jobs. Maybe we're juggling our job, and then maybe we're trying to juggle with our finances. Maybe we're having to rob Peter to pay Paul. Sometimes this can be about juggling our work life and then, our personal life, our home life. Maybe things are, a little upsetting there. This could be so many different things, but this definitely indicates that we are not in balance. We are not able to juggle and multitask like we normally would. And perhaps some news could have came in, and this could potentially be indicating a loss of money. It doesn't have to be extreme, as this will be different for every single Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. But again, We just might be spreading ourselves too thin as well. Okay, so it is clarified by the Faith card in the reverse position. So maybe some of you are just ready to go do something different. Maybe you're tired of falling into line and conforming with what other people expect from you. You know, maybe you're tired of, conforming and falling into line with what your job or your jobs expect out of you. Maybe you're just not happy, so you're like, you know what? I'm going to go my own way. So for some of you, that could be a strong possibility. Some of you, we could even say that maybe you need to have faith. Maybe we're lacking faith. For some of you, this could be about unconventional, non-traditional type of relationships. And maybe this relationship is out of balance. And then, sometimes when one thing's out of balance, then, this can affect our work life, So then both things can become out of balance. So, but I think you guys need to have faith. For some of you, like I said, this could be about deciding to go your own way. Maybe some of you might be feeling a little bit of rebellion in regards to your job or your financial situation. This is also a card that has to do with conforming. But when it's in the reverse, we don't want to conform. We don't want to fall in line. We're just ready to do what we want to do. It's kind of like we're tired of being told what to do, how we should be, So it's like, it's a little bit of rebellious energy, so. But I ain't judging, so don't worry about that. You got to do what you feel is best for you. And only you know what that is, so. This would be the focus of the entire reading, essentially. So we have the Judgment card. So thankfully the Judgment card is in the upright position, and boy, this card has really been popping out in a lot of readings here lately. So, but it makes sense. This card is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is in Capricorn. So this is about having new awareness. And sometimes it's almost like one of those fantastic light bulb moments where it's like, oh, aha, never thought about this that way before, or I never realized about this or that, But ultimately it's a new awareness, and like I said, at least it's in the upright position, so we are seeing things clearly, which is good. Now, this card always comes up when we have a decision that we have to make. And always keep in mind with the Judgment card that this decision that we make is going to be one that has, a long-term effect on our life. So once the decision is made, it cannot be like unmade, Sometimes we can have, just a few of these in our lives, these types of decisions that are literally life-changing, and sometimes we can have several. So, but either way, just keep in mind that this is a decision that will have long-term effects. So, keep that in mind when you're making your decision. Okay, so it is clarified by the Hanging Man in reverse. So, with the Hanging Man in the reverse, like so, this definitely indicates, which I actually like these two cards together because they're both about a shift in awareness. Now, with the Hanging Man, this shows that the shift in awareness has already happened. And there is a tendency for us to try to hang on to the past. Sometimes this can be us literally trying to hang on to our old self-image. And a lot of times this is done out of fear. Sometimes we think, well, you know, if I show people who I am now, maybe they won't understand. Maybe they won't accept me. Maybe, you know, maybe things will just go completely south. Well, you know what? You can't worry about that. Because at the end of the day, this change, this has already happened. This shift of awareness has already happened. And ultimately, the Hanging Man in reverse is calling for you to surrender, to let go. You need to let go of a certain situation. And it's probably one that has to do with your past. So you've got to let go, surrender, allow this to happen, because this is an inevitable change. It's something that has to happen. We cannot undo it. You know, once our awareness has shifted, we can't go back to who we used to be. You know, this card is very much about we are not the same person that we were, you know, 6 months ago, a year ago. We're a completely different person. And even though some of you could potentially be still portraying yourself to be the same person that you have been, you're really not. And you need to be honest about it. And you know what? Don't get caught up in any type of fear. If, you know, if people don't accept it, don't worry about them. Because you have to put yourself first. And to pretend that you're something that you're not anymore, this is not going to help you. It's not going to help. It will just hinder. It will cause you more problems. So, own this change. It's a new you. And those who truly love you will accept you regardless. Okay? So, don't worry about, you know, whoever may decide to be like, I don't want to be around you no more, I don't like you, or I don't approve, you know, that'll just let you know exactly which people you need to ignore and or remove out of your life. You know, be you, be true to yourself. But ultimately, you've got to let go of that old image or whatever it is from the past that you're trying to hang on to. You got to let it go. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and keep beating the same drum, because I feel that most of you already know this. But we must just surrender and let it go. Accept things as they are. Accept who you are now. And get ready to move forward. Because a lot of times with this card, this is us wanting, you know, a different life. We're ready to go down and discover, you know, new paths, you know, and new directions, you know, and we're just ready for a new start because we want something that has higher meaning, higher purpose. And it's time. And we can't move forward with this new start if we don't fully surrender and let go of the very thing that we're trying to cling on to. So this would be your recent past. So we have the Four of Swords. So this card came up quite a bit as well. So this is a card of retreat. This is like retreating after a battle. So, and when I say battle, typically it's of the verbal variety, and it doesn't always have to be. Sometimes this card can indicate that perhaps maybe in the recent past you went on vacation. Maybe some of you, simply just took some time out and withdrew from, you know, other people so that you could, have that quiet time and, to reflect, introspection, and I mean, just look at her. She's sitting in that bathtub full of bubbles. She's got one shoe on, one shoe off, because she just got in there in a hurry because she was like, I so need to relax. Oh, Calgon, take me away. So, see, this kind of looks like her hair, but look, this is like all the mental activity that's taking place. But she needs a break, so she needs a break from all that mental stimulation. This card can also be about us having anxiety issues. For some, this can be a little bit of depression. Not for all of you. I just have to mention it because it's going to resonate with a handful of you guys, but it's not meant for all of you. So, okay. Now, this card can also be about a truce. So, especially if you have been in, dealing with some sort of verbal conflict in your past, this could be one of those cards that comes out and it's kind of like a white flag, a truce, a temporary truce. So it's like you go to your corner, I'm going to go to mine. Let's take a break from each other because nothing's getting solved. You don't see my point, I don't see yours. So at some point we're going to have to finish, so to speak. So that'll resonate with just a few of you as well. But ultimately, this is a time of retreating from the world so that we can, find our balance again. But we need to deal with this, mental activity. It's kind of excessive. So sometimes we can have issues with sleeping too much or maybe not sleeping enough, and maybe we need to pull back and retreat so that we can get the sleep, because this is a card of rest, retreating, because we've been through a lot. So this would be our present, the here and the now energy. So King of Coins, this is a good one. So you guys will be very, very much focused on financial matters for sure. Now, let me be clear here. This could be someone who is actually in your life right now, or this could simply be your energy and what you're looking forward to. So if this is representing a person for you, they don't have to be just male. They can be male or female. They could potentially be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but they don't have to be. But ultimately, they would be someone who is very practical, someone who is very hardworking, focused on making that money. Okay, so the King of Coins. When we need financial advice, this is our king right here. This man knows how to make money, okay? But not only does he know how to make money, he knows how to make wealth. And typically, he has no problem in advising, and helping other people to learn how to make, money and potential wealth for themselves as well. So it's like, if you have any advice, this is definitely the person that you want to ask, because they will give you some darn good advice, and it's advice you'd want to listen to. But there is a focus of being about money. We're focused on money here in the present, the here and now. That's what we're focused on. So the King of Coins, he's very good with math and science, things like this. He could be an investor, he could be an entrepreneur, he could be in the banking business, he could be in real estate, he could be a broker, He could even be a veterinarian. I mean, there are so many different businesses that, you know, you can find him in, but let me tell you, no matter what type of business it is, it's going to be making lots and lots of money, you know, and maybe even wealth. So, yeah, so definitely I can tell you guys are pretty focused on that financial security and building wealth. Now, for the near future, we have the Page of Cups in the reverse position. So this is like we're waiting on some, you know, happy type of event, something that we've been looking forward to, and it's like it's been delayed or it's been postponed, or there could be a feeling like things are like at a standstill. So it's like we really, really want this, but yet it almost feels like nothing is moving, like nothing is going on, like everything is just stopped. And this is really, really frustrating. And so typically when this card comes up, this is where we can see one who becomes a little bit moody, you know, because they're super frustrated because this is something they've been looking forward to so much, and it just seems to be at a standstill or it's delayed, you know. And this can actually make you feel a bit emotional. And typically when you're this emotional, you should talk to somebody, but there's a tendency to hold that emotion in and not want to talk about it. But it would really help to talk about it, because venting could actually help. So, you know, maybe find somebody you can trust, or don't, you know. It's your life. Do what you feel is best, but I'm just recommending that sometimes it can help, because sometimes somebody can point something out to us that, you know, we weren't even looking at or even thinking about, and like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's not all bad. And, you know, what I always like to bring up here, when delays are happening, especially when it's something that's going to make you happy, I just want you to realize that any delay that happens, and I know it's not going to feel this way, but look, everything happens for a reason. Just because it's delayed doesn't mean that it will never happen, but delays happen for a reason, and sometimes we're literally being divinely protected, and you just don't know it or realize it. It's not always so obvious on the surface. And this month, every time this card comes out, I've been using the same example, so let's use it here again. So, say you walk out the door at 8 a.m. to go to work. You always go out the door at 8 a.m. And this one particular day, your keys are not where they're normally at. So you have to get out of your car, you got to go back into your home, you got to look for your keys. So by the time you find them, say you're 10 minutes behind 8, you're running a little late. So then you take off and you head to work. And then suddenly, boom, you get hit by a traffic jam. And then you're like, oh God, what? Why now? And then you realize, oh, wow, look at that insane accident. Well, guess what? You got delayed, because if you hadn't have been delayed, that would have been you in that accident. Now, I hate to use such a morbid example, but it gets my point across. Sometimes we don't understand why we're delayed and why these things happen, but ultimately we are being protected, whether you can see it or not, or whether you believe it or not. We're being protected from something worse, you know. So just hang on. It's a delay. Don't don't lose your hope. Don't lose, optimism. Don't become overly pessimistic, Caps. Come on. You know, it's a delay. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so I got 2 clarifying cards for this one. So the first one is the Knight of Wands. So this definitely tells me the very thing that has been delayed or appears to be at a standstill has to do with a opportunity and or change, but this could be about a job opportunity. This could be about an opportunity to go traveling. Whatever it may be, this could be, a new job. Whatever it is. This could be about a change of residence. So many... This card is about changes and opportunities. And no matter what the changes are that come our way, they are positive. So, I can definitely see why you guys would be upset. You want this opportunity. You absolutely want it. And it just feels like things are at a standstill. So the next card that came out is the Ace of Cups. So I could quickly say that, this is an opportunity that just makes your heart want to sing. This is the opportunity that you've been dreaming of, that you've been hoping for, that you really, really want. Now, another aspect here is for some of you, because this is not going to be for all of you. I'll just mention that right now, because there are some Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs out here that, are in relationships or want to be in a relationship. So, the Ace of Cups, this could be potentially bringing someone forth. Maybe that's what you could be upset about, is maybe, you have a desire to be with someone and maybe you're waiting to hear, are they feeling the same? Maybe you're not hearing anything. Maybe this is upsetting. Now, this card can also indicate potentially the conception of a child. That's only going to resonate with literally a handful of you. So this, it doesn't necessarily have to be a conception of a child for you personally. It could be, someone within your family or someone that's really close to you, or it could be for you. But no matter what, this is a new start, and it is one that is from the heart. And our heart is open and just ready for this new start. Okay, so here we have the Knight of Cups in the reverse position. This is for your attitude. So this can definitely indicate that perhaps, especially for those who are interested in romance, this could indicate that perhaps maybe your heart is not as open to a relationship as maybe you might have thought. Sometimes this can indicate a fear of commitment. So that is a possibility. And again, that is just for the people who are focused upon a relationship right now. This can also be about, an offer, or, a proposal of some sort. An offer being postponed. And, this is just, it's frustrating. But you need to be careful, because when this card's in the reverse, it's definitely indicating that perhaps maybe you might be a bit fearful. And you could even potentially be developing a overworked imagination. And fear will definitely do that to you, so you need to beware. Because we don't want to make this situation, any worse. I mean, now, sometimes this can actually indicate that maybe you guys could be hesitating, or, just simply not telling the truth about what you feel. But this can definitely indicate some turbulent times, and for those, with love, this can definitely indicate that your emotions are not being shared equally between, the two people. Cheer up, Cap. It's gonna be alright. No matter what, it's gonna be alright. If it doesn't happen right now, then just look at it like there is a reason. When one door closes, another opens, always, okay? And sometimes the next door that opens is even better than we could have ever imagined. Now, I know that probably doesn't take the sting off the situation at all, but I just want you guys to have something to look forward to, because it is the truth. Sometimes we are shut out of certain things, and I don't think every single one of you are going to be completely shut out of that opportunity, but then I feel that some of you will, and I just want you to know that if that door closes, another's going to open. And it's definitely one of those things where it takes us, quite a few years, because it will lead you to another opportunity, another door opening. And then, a few years from this point, you're going to look back, like 5 years later, and you're going to be like, oh, wow, yeah, I remember that opportunity, and then it led me to here, and then it led me to here, and wow, I guess it was necessary, because it was all worth it, but that takes time, and then looking back. So I just don't want you guys to lose your faith, and I don't want you guys to be having a lot of fear-based thoughts, and you could be making your imagination go in overdrive, so to speak, and we don't really need that. That can produce more issues, because our thoughts are things. Every thought that we think has energy. We are energy. And so if we're constantly focusing and having negative thoughts, then we can attract more negative to us. And so this is where we really need to try to focus and, make ourselves shift to something more positive, if you can, because I'm not going to beat that drum too much, because I know how y'all are. Sometimes you want something, you're just going to dig your heels in, and that's what you want. I don't want to hear about anything else, so just shut up, woman. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, so we have the Ten of Cups in reverse. This is how other people see you. So with the Ten of Cups in reverse, this can definitely indicate that there could be some issues regarding a home or your family life. Sometimes this can be about, like a real estate, a home deal could not be necessarily going through. There could be like a holdup, a delay. Sometimes this can be, about issues within the home, either between you and a spouse, or a significant other, or about the children. Sometimes this can be where we have to deal with children arguing with us. And sometimes, that it could be children having to argue with each other. It all adds up for a stressful home life. So it definitely indicates that there's some difficulties going on within the home life or regarding a home in general. Now, this card can also indicate a possibility of flooding. So here we can see an act of God. So floods, hurricanes, things of that nature. And these can cause damage to the home and sometimes the home structure itself. Now, in general, this could be about a wedding being put off. Maybe things are just not coming together. Maybe there could be trouble in the relationship brewing. But a lot of times this is just about, delays and or some difficult times, before things get on track and go well again. And I can't stress enough how much patience is needed, because it's very much needed here. And a lot of times this can come up when we're really excited about something in general, which could be I'm feeling the opportunity here, and of course it being delayed, and this is indicating a delay also. And sometimes it can simply indicate that it's just not going to happen for right now. So it could just be a delay, or we may revise our plans at a later time. Sometimes this can indicate a loss of friendship, fighting, especially within the family. So there could be some issues regarding family life in general. This can be about arguing with siblings, or just relatives in general. Now, sometimes this can also potentially indicate a loss of reputation. So we need to be careful of that. And sometimes this can come up if, like, our home has been vandalized. So the damage doesn't always have to be, hence flooding, an act of God. Sometimes it can be someone being thoughtless, and having some thoughtless actions, which can be pretty hurtful. Now, that's only going to resonate with a few of you, but I have to say it. So just try to keep your head up. I know this is stressful energy. I can relate, unfortunately. So yeah, I know it's just it's like such a wonderful opportunity, and then boom, we're hitting delay after delay after delay. So I totally get your frustration and why you feel like things are at a standstill. Okay, so this would be our hopes or our fears. This can typically give us some information from the subconscious mind. So we have the Nine of Coins in reverse. So this is a card that has to do with, financial independence, financial self-sufficiency. It's also a card that I always relate it to people who are self-employed, people who have like investments, people that are like independent agents, contractors. But in general, it covers money and us being self-sufficient, independent, financially set. But in the reverse position, we see money falling away. And sometimes it can be like an investment that we made might have basically turned upside down, where it's not worth even what we put into it or paid for it, you know, so that's really super frustrating. But, you know, this could actually, you know, be going on, or this could be what some of you might be fearing, you know, and when we have financial difficulties, it is related right back to the home always, because if we're having financial difficulties, then, you know, this can potentially, you know, give us a hard time, you know, making ends meet, paying for our home, you know, and then this can cause stress within the home life. So, ugh. Oh, I am so sorry, boy. You guys are going through it this month. Okay, so this would be the final outcome. So we have the Two of Cups in the reverse position. So typically this is our, you know, soulmate card, you know, but again, you know, not every Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising is in a relationship or even wants to be. So it doesn't always have to be about this particularly, but you know, I'm just gonna throw some things out here, so that way I can relate to everyone as far as whether you're in a relationship or whether you're not. Okay, so the Two of Cups in reverse. This is about in a relationship of ours, which can be romantic or it could be a purely platonic relationship. This could even be about a friendship, a partnership, you know, many different things. Even a relationship with a family member. So this would definitely indicate that a lack of harmony is taking place, that the sharing is not equal. So a lot of times it's like one person is like doing the most and the other person's just, you know, on the receiving end and just taking. Sometimes it can be maybe you're both being stubborn, you know, maybe somebody's got to rise up and be the bigger person, so to speak, because that's about the only way that we can get past this. Now, I mean, this doesn't mean that whatever relationship this is for you that it's absolutely doomed. It's just both parties need to come together and be willing to communicate and work with each other, and both parties got to want the same thing. Now, if they, you know, if you don't want the same thing, then, you know, it's probably not going to work out. You know, for those who are in romantic relationships, this can definitely come up when you might be at a crossroads. So there might be a feeling of like, should I break this off or should I continue to try, because I just don't know if it's worth it anymore. Should I put any more of my energy into this? Should I continue? Or should I just, you know, be done? But again, you know, communication is key here, okay? Whether this is about a platonic relationship or a romantic one, communication is key. If we're not communicating, then nothing is getting solved, and we're still experiencing a lack of harmony within this partnership, friendship, relationship, whatever it may be. So communication is key. Do not forget. We need to find that balance again. Is it possible? Only you know that, you know. But again, you know, sometimes this is someone's being stubborn and just unwilling to make the first move or give assistance. You know, our emotions really get the better of us when this card comes up in the reverse position, so you need to watch out for that. Okay, so it is clarified by the Two of Swords. So this just drives home what I was just saying. a decision's going to have to be made, and it seems like it definitely falls on your end, Caps. It's going to be your decision. So it looks like you're going to have a decision to make regarding this relationship, this friendship, this partnership, you know, whatever this is for you. It looks like you're going to have a decision to make. And you might be experiencing some indecision regarding making a choice, you know. And typically, you know, we normally see water behind her with this particular card because the decision is always one that has some emotions behind it. So we've hit a point of indecision, stalemate, so we need to go within. See, she puts this blindfold on herself. Why? Because she wants to use her third eye to see, but she also wants to take the time to make the decision because she wants to weigh the pros and the cons to each choice. So definitely indicating, you know, don't make an impulsive type of decision, you know. Take your time, weigh the pros and cons of each choice, each option, each direction, whatever it may be, you know, to stay or to not, you know. Do I want to continue trying to make this work, or do I just need to go my own way? So there's definitely a choice, and for some of you, you know, that are in love with your work, you know, this could be about your job, you know, maybe you got a choice. Do you want to continue? Do you want to move forward, or do you want to find a new direction to go in? Ultimately, the choice definitely is in your hands here, so just be wise and mindful about the choice that you make, and don't rush, you know, because you want to make the decision that's right, especially for where you are in your life right now. You just want to make the decision that's going to benefit you in the long run. Okay, so for the bottom of the deck, we had the King of Swords in reverse. So, wow, yeah. This king has been through a loss of some sort. And the not so nice side of him tends to come out. So one could say he's got a really bad attitude right now. But you know, there really is like a sense of being exhausted mentally. And sometimes this is like we feel like we just cannot handle the stress of the situation. You know, sometimes this is about bad news coming in and we're just not dealing with it so well. And ultimately, we need to find our balance, but it's kind of like we're in limbo. You know, we get this bad news, and sure, we need to be in balance, but this bad news, you know, throws us out of balance, and then we're kind of potentially behaving in not the most nicest way. Because this is not the... For those of you who are cross-watching, just an FYI, be careful, you know, when we have the King of Swords in reverse, these caps might say something that could be pretty brutal. They may or may not mean it in the moment. So be mindful of that. You may want to back up and give them a little bit of space, because just poking at them would be like poking a bear. It's not going to be good. Just back off a little. Because their tongue is like a sword. They can cut you. So be careful. Okay, sorry. Just had to give some advice to my cross watchers. Alright, so... Because, yeah, you guys could definitely be pretty cruel in your words. And not that you want to be, it's just... this news, is upsetting, and it just, not our best side comes out. Sometimes this can be about being preoccupied with your own thoughts, your ideas, your intentions, your actions. Sometimes we can almost become obsessed about it. But you really need to be careful, because when we're in this frame of mind, it's like we don't have any concern for anybody else. And so this can, this can make us say and do some really nasty things just because we're going through it. So, we really need to be diplomatic as much as possible. Just try to be mindful of it. Sometimes this can be about making unfair judgments, assessments. Maybe you're just being overly opinionated. But ultimately, what you need to realize is you're not seeing things clearly because you're out of balance. So I got 2 clarification cards. The first one is the 10 of coins in reverse. So money's falling away here. So it definitely looks like, there could be a potential loss of job, or there could be, issues where, we've made investments, can be like stocks, things like that. They could really turn upside down on us. Investments that we've made may show little to no profit at all. They may end up costing us more. Sometimes this can be about getting laid off. Maybe benefits get cut. It's not the greatest energy here. So it definitely seems like the upset is coming from a work and, financial situation. So that's the loss that the King of Swords is going through, and why you may be feeling so out of balance, and why you might be prone to say and or behave in a way that is not so great. But you need to have faith, because while this is very, very hard, anything that gets removed right now, especially if you have Pluto near your sun, your moon, your rising, then it's like these things are up for transformation, Or this could even be Saturn for some of you. Saturn's, I believe, at like 2 degrees right now of Capricorn. Saturn will definitely make us feel restricted, or like we're being shut out, like there's a boundary that's been put up. But just know that, if for those of you who do lose a job, it may not even be a job. Maybe it's a job opportunity. Maybe it's a side job. Maybe it was about a promotion. This could be many different things. But it's definitely job and work and financial related. So, but whatever, comes to a close here, whatever it is that you lost, just know that these things happen for a reason, because ultimately, long term, this could have actually ended up far worse. Even though you guys are probably cussing me out right now. I can almost feel it coming, and we're not even uploaded yet. Okay. But just know that, these things happen for a reason. I know it doesn't make sense and probably going to infuriate some of you. But I'm telling you, when one door closes, another opens. And if we get shut out of an opportunity, then it's because that opportunity is not meant for us. That's like the universe saying, I have something better. But unfortunately, we got to go through this process to get you to the better. But sometimes it's hard to be forward thinking like that when you're going through such a hard time. So I get it. I do. I just want you guys to keep in mind that, things will get better. Things will take a turn for the better. You will find new opportunities. And eventually, you're going to be led to a much better opportunity that's going to bring this card to the upright position. And I think that this opportunity that you will eventually be led to will be much more structured, much better, much more suited for you. And then you can probably look back in a few years from now, and then you'll be able to see exactly why you were shut out of the opportunity. Maybe the opportunity appears to be way better than what it really is. Okay, so the next card that came out was the Fool. So this is us being given that new start. Like I said, when one door opens, or one door closes, another opens. I know this isn't easy, but you're going to get that new start. And like I said, I think that you're going to be led to an opportunity, to a job, whatever it may be, that is far better suited to you and your skills and your abilities. It's just going to take time. And I understand this is definitely uncomfortable and not what you guys would want to be doing. But some things are necessary. Now, I'm not saying every single one of you are going to lose your jobs, that's not at all what I'm saying. It's some of you will, but some of you, this could just be about, maybe you're trying to get, like a second job, and maybe it was one that was something that you really wanted to do. Maybe you've gotten shut out of that opportunity, but yet you still have another job. So maybe for some of you, this is about, maybe you applied for a promotion and you didn't get it. So we're being given a new start. But ultimately, I think that no matter what happens with this new start, you're going to be led to another opportunity that will bring you this financial security and even potentially working towards wealth. It's kind of like stepping into the unknown here, but this new start is one that has some joy and innocence to it. So it's like we're happy to go on this new start. So you may go through this phase of being pretty upset, out of balance, maybe a little bit of depression, anxiety because of this, situation, but it's going to lead you to this. And I think when this opportunity comes your way, this new start, I think you guys are going to be extremely happy about it. And I think it's going to lead to good things. But remember, you guys got a decision to make. It's coming.
and it's got to do with someone else, you know. Whew, I know this is tough, Cap. I'm sorry. Wow. I was really hoping for better. But we're going to get there. We are going to get there. And I think, you know, all of this transition type stuff is, it's hard, but I think it's leading you to something far better. And, you know, with Pluto in your sign of Capricorn here, you know, Pluto is about our power. We can end up feeling powerful or powerless, you know, but so you may feel powerless for a little while, but you're going to find your power again. So I just don't want you guys to, you know, get super depressed and fall into that pessimistic hole. Don't, you know, try to stay out of that. Do your best to find your balance. Try to be diplomatic. I know this is hard. Oh, I'm sending you guys prayers, but you're gonna get through this. You guys are stronger than you realize. But I know when your money gets messed with, that's what really can set your emotions off. I get it. I love you guys. I'm praying, but I already know I have faith because I believe in you, whether you believe in yourself or not. I believe in you, and I know for a fact that sure, we might be missing out on one opportunity, but there's something much better in the cards ahead for you. That much I'm sure of. I love you guys. I'm sending you blessings of healing, prosperity, and love.